I'm Jim Peters, Chief Operating Officer of Rite. I came to Rite just over 1 year ago, almost exactly a year ago today, to help set a new strategy and revitalize the company. It can be difficult to remember what our world was like only a year ago, but thinking back, you'll recall that healthcare was already at a breaking point well before COVID-19 and social distancing became everyday phenomena. It had already become clear that fundamental changes were needed to make healthcare work for people across the country. Obesity rates out of control, anxiety, depression, mental health issues had become pervasive for way too long. Lack of sleep constituted a true health barrier for many people, including myself, and opioid abuse continued to be a national crisis. People also faced higher than ever deductibles, longer than ever wait times to see a doctor, and less time actually spent with that doctor when you finally got a visit. And the consumer experience in healthcare was falling way short of expectations that we've all grown accustomed to having at places like Starbucks and the Genius Bar. To be fair, we in the healthcare industry certainly worked to respond to these issues. Retail clinics were one attempt, self-help apps were another, but it became increasingly clear that some of these care model innovations, like a retail pharmacy owning primary care clinics, which were designed, in fact, to help cure our country's broken system, they actually had the opposite effect, increasing utilization, further fragmenting care, detaching people from their integrated care teams, all causing healthcare consumers to fall through the cracks. We all realized that the healthcare system that we were in was in dire need of change well before COVID-19. So when I joined Rite last fall, we developed and embarked upon an entirely new strategy with all of this in mind. A new one for Rite, a new one for the industry, that elevated pharmacists as the everyday weapon used by providers and health plans to help keep patients and members connected to their care teams, adherent to their medications, aware of their care gaps, and educated, even enlightened in some ways, on a broader spectrum of remedies that go well beyond traditional medicines. This strategy, which we call RX Evolution, is a comprehensive one that doubles down on our pharmacy business and focuses on unlocking the value of pharmacies and pharmacists, revitalizing our retail and digital experience, and becoming the dominant mid-market PBM. We see an incredible opportunity for Rite to go deep in our communities and unlock the true value of the pharmacist. From my career in healthcare, I've come to believe that pharmacists have been the single most underutilized providers and the answer to that missing link in the last mile of healthcare. When people are not in a doctor's office, but out and about living their everyday lives. And there's no more accessible and trusted provider embedded in those everyday journeys than pharmacists. We've been in flight, working at warp speed to set the stage for this RX evolution. Today, I'm excited to give you an exclusive sneak peek at some elements of our full brand relaunch, which we roll out across all our markets in just a couple weeks. A brand launch that involves far more than a new logo, but one with substance and impact that involves every single step of the consumer journey, both digitally and in store. You will be among the very first people to see how our new brand identity actually ties in with this new approach to pharmacy and its role in healthcare, and how it can elevate healthcare to help communities thrive. As a healthcare guy, I recall my more than 12 years at Geisinger Health System, where our docs and nurses, some of the best in the world, had a really strong impact when patients were actually with them in an office visit, which let's say was less than 0.01% of a patient's life. Of course, they were challenged to match that impact during the 99.99% of the time those patients were not in a doctor's office, but when they were just living their everyday lives, when patients make everyday choices that frankly most strongly influence their well-being, and often not for the better. The reality is the traditional healthcare system as we all know it, it's been designed and frankly has evolved around an occasional episodic event, the doctor's appointment, as opposed to the everyday choices that people like us make. But Rite is a stop on that everyday journey of patients. Our pharmacists see many of these folks 25, 30 times a year, Additionally, pharmacists are among the most trusted healthcare professionals in all of America. Over 90% of consumers state that they trust their pharmacists. That trust positions pharmacists well to connect consumers to their care and be the ultimate last-mile extension for the broader healthcare ecosystem. We have such conviction in this role of our pharmacists that we began reimagining our entire business strategy through that lens, exploring how we can best enable, even unleash, pharmacists to address the mind, body, and spirit of each and every customer so the neighborhoods we serve can go beyond healthy and actually get thriving. And tying back to that broken healthcare system, we knew if our pharmacists could be our consumers' trusted everyday clinical touchpoint, someone they see handfuls of time in between each doctor's visit, then our pharmacists could actually play a critical role in helping drive better health outcomes for those consumers. You see, those consumers, our consumers, are the same people who are the patients of our neighborhood's doctors, the members of our community's health plans, which is why pharmacies are ideally positioned to influence the everyday behaviors and choices of these people, because they are our customers. Reminding them to take their medications, reaching out when a prescription that was ordered by their doc goes unfilled, discussing alternative remedies that can actually complement those traditional ones, and reinforcing the importance, even sanctity, of their care teams, and using virtual care and other methods to connect those folks back to those care teams if and when we see trouble. That's our neighborhood first approach, existing deep in our communities and engaging our consumers to guide them toward a healthy array of remedies and products that best elevate their whole being health. And by doing so, we'll serve as the ultimate last mile connector for those providers and health plan partners who serve them. But while trust and accessibility of our pharmacists position us to help consumers clinically, we knew that providing the same rather vanilla pharmacy experience to our customers wouldn't be enough. We had to reinvent the way pharmacists worked in order to realize profound potential impact that we can bring to this industry. I do believe the pharmacist can be the whole being health advocate for every customer that comes into our stores. But they can't do that if they continue to be stuck behind a production wall filling pill bottles. So we changed that, using lean methodologies to shift that work to pharmacy technicians and balance their workday activities around peak volume times, freeing the pharmacist to be out in front, ideally positioned to engage. But even that wasn't enough. We challenged our pharmacists to think more broadly about the factors that contribute to their customers' overall well-being, beyond the script, and we certified all 6,300 plus of them as integrative pharmacy specialists so that they can educate consumers on a much more holistic set of alternative remedies that complement traditional medicines. So we're looking at pharmacists very differently. We're unlocking their potential for that perfect fusion where traditional therapies meet alternative remedies, and being the whole health advocate for every single customer that comes into the pharmacy. Our pharmacists are embracing this new role. They love the fact that they're engaging in a way they envisioned when they actually chose to become a pharmacist. It's quite transformational and amazing to see this come to life. To reiterate, we as a pharmacy do not seek to own primary or specialty care. We're pharmacists, and we're pharmacists at our core. And we embrace that role and the opportunity to connect people to a broader than ever spectrum of therapies and services, and act as a connector, not a competitor, to the doctors and nurses that serve them so well. And when we see our customers are failing, our role is to facilitate their connection to those integrated care teams, not replace them. We are where it all comes together on the front lines every day so our neighbors can thrive. When elevating the role of the pharmacist, we knew we had to deliver an equally exceptional consumer experience to match, in-store and online. So we are on the brink of bringing customers an entirely new Rite Aid experience, one with a clear purpose. And with a revitalized retail and digital experience, that's more than a step function departure from the rather unimaginative, dull, and even vanilla one that has defined retail chain drug until now. We're building an experience that speaks to our new growth target audience, Millennial and Gen X women Think of those everyday hero women between the ages of 25 and say 49 and beyond, who are seeking not only to take care of themselves, but also their children, aging parents, and even their pets. These women represent about 1/3 of the U.S. population and about 1/2 of front-end drugstore shoppers. And their expectation is a cohesive, curated retail experience with merchandise that has health and wellness attributes they care most about. Attributes like natural, organic, clean, cruelty-free, fair trade, and chemical-free. So as I speak, we're overhauling our assortment and mix to put a curated set of products that have these characteristics in store. And with our pharmacist consulting on whole health, we're focused beyond acute and chronic illness and are providing holistic alternative solutions in areas like immunity, sleep, stress, anxiety, all those daily struggle items that usually never make it to a doctor conversation or even a diagnosis. So, from personalized tips from our pharmacists, ranging from how to get a sounder sleep to discussing the merits of natural remedies like essential oils and lavender. To us, this will help these everyday hero women not just to get healthy, but to get thriving. Now that I've set up what we're doing relative to our consumer experience, I'll provide a virtual sneak peek at everything we've been working on as it relates to building this whole new Rite Aid. To tie together our evolving approach to alternative remedies and traditional medicines, we've refreshed our brand identity to reflect this new purpose. Here's a look at the new branding. So with an updated blue mortar and pestle to reinforce our pharmacy core and replacing the old and tired red with green leaves to represent our embrace of holistic alternative remedies, our new logo better represents the new Rite Aid and what we stand for. To be clear, our efforts obviously go well beyond a new logo you just saw. Our branding is more than a symbol. It's a redefinition, a purpose, a revitalization of a business and an industry with a new brand that comes to life with every touch point along the consumer's journey. That journey begins as the customer plans to shop. Just a couple weeks ago, we launched a brand new and modern digital online experience, a hallmark of the pre-shop phase. Wellness-focused social media messaging, as well as digitized and print circulars that reflect a more modern, current, better-for-you set of merchandise. We're cleaning and refreshing all our store exteriors with our new logo, signage, and digital pylons. And we'll soon be formally launching our new brand with a surround sound messaging on the perfect fusion between traditional and alternative remedies. As the customer shops the front end, they'll soon notice our merchandise overhaul, and it is an overhaul, with visually impactful messaging emphasizing the better-for-you products our consumers want, not the traditional mass items we've been incentivized by vendors to promote historically. The customer's journey culminates with engaging our pharmacists in a way I've described before, as they sit in their refreshed role with a renewed commitment to holistic health.
We've been working hard to build a new Rite Aid brand that will accelerate our growth, and we're excited to have you join us on the journey. A strong brand starts with a fundamental question: why do we do what we do? Research shows that Rite Aid has an important purpose: to go beyond merely helping people get healthy, to helping them thrive. Sure, healing sickness is important, but thriving means so much more. Today's drugstores don't do that. They're transactional. The pharmacist is inaccessible, and they don't proactively improve your health and wellness. We're revolutionizing the pharmacy as we know it. For starters, we'll focus on the 4 most universal needs: sleep, stress, pain, and immunity. What won't we do? We won't give customers an assembly line pharmacy experience. We won't leave them wondering whether a wellness trend is truth or hype, so they can decide what's right for them. Our new brand logo is a shield, a symbol of strength, protection, and empowerment that you'll be seeing everywhere, even on our flu bandages. The mortar and pestle represents traditional pharmacy. The leaves are the universal symbol for natural wellness. Our new tagline captures our brand promise: help people go beyond healthy to thriving.
And now I'm excited to give you a sneak peek into the future of our stores. We want our customers to walk into a completely different experience than your traditional drugstore, something that embodies our DNA and enables us to serve our neighborhoods as a destination for enhancing mind, body, and spirit, not just a convenient location and not simply another traditional chain drugstore. We're thrilled to be grand opening our very first stores of the future this month, within weeks, with many more to come as we continue to redefine the Rite Aid experience across our retail footprint. Here's what you can expect to see as we begin to roll out these changes. As mentioned before, we believe the pharmacists should be front and center. Well, the store of the future is literally built to put that pharmacist out into the front of the pharmacy and not behind a wall counting pills. It's truly that Genius Bar experience I alluded to before, with an entirely reimagined pharmacy. That experience includes virtual care rooms, allowing our pharmacists to have a mechanism to not only consult, but also connect those customers to their community-based care teams or other providers as appropriate. I spoke with Josie Conrad, our Chief Pharmacy Officer, about our store of the future. Let's hear what she has to say.
Our pharmacy in particular, we're bringing that pharmacist out from behind the counter. We're making our pharmacists even more accessible than they have been in the past. And they will be front and center in every one of our pharmacists in the stores of the future, so that that customer, every customer, knows who our pharmacist is and begins to build those relationships. So as they need them and when they need them for whatever it is, they can be that trusted resource that we know they are today. But unfortunately, many customers don't recognize that as what that pharmacist can provide to them. So we're putting it in front of them. We're allowing our pharmacists and freeing up their time through lean initiatives. I will tell you, speaking to our pharmacists, they are so excited that for the first time in retail pharmacy, that we are empowering them to do exactly what they've always wanted to do. They love being in front of the customers. They love that we actually physically put them there, and we're creating the space around them to support them so that they can interact more with their customers through every interaction that they have. The store of the future definitely is a completely different experience than any other retail pharmacy in the market. You feel welcome. It feels fresh. It's light. It encourages you to browse and shop and identify new products that you may not have even known were on the market, or you're actually going to be able to find products that you've seen but not in a Rite Aid store. So we will be the place that people will want to come to find new items, to, provide some self-care for the first time in a long time, to also provide care for their children and new items to help support whole being health on the front end of our store all the way through the pharmacy.
I hope you enjoyed one of the first looks at our store of the future. It's energizing to see this all come together. Most people think of Rite Aid first and foremost as a retail pharmacy. But our mission to keep people healthy and thriving extends beyond the pharmacy counter and, in fact, beyond our stores. We're doubling down on our pharmacy benefit management company, Elixir, and our suite of pharmacy service solutions. Listen, the PBM, total addressable market, is huge. It's $400 billion, give or take, and it is growing. As you all know, the big three PBMs own 75% plus market share. These PBMs, which are all owned by major health plans, tend to serve large and price-sensitive customers. This presents an opportunity for us, Elixir, to become the dominant mid-market PBM benefits and services company. We've been hard at work integrating multiple entities within Elixir and also integrating Elixir and Rite Aid so that we can drive a much more holistic experience for our corporate customers. As we move to fully integrate Elixir, our offering to the market includes technology solutions, mail order, delivery, specialty pharmacies, network and rebate administration, and claims adjudication, as well as prescription discount programs. Our most differentiated integration point is our connection to the more than 2,400 Rite Aid stores, positioning us as the only payor-agnostic PBM with a large retail pharmacy footprint. We are uniquely positioned among the mid-market PBMs in our ability to offer this breadth of our services. Similar to our pharmacy retail business, Elixir is about connection points and supporting the health system in ways we just don't see today in the industry. Keep an eye on what we do in the PBM space. I believe wholeheartedly in the future of Rite Aid and the vision for pharmacy that we're bringing to life through our own RX evolution. This mission was important enough a year ago before a pandemic upended life as we knew it. Now it's essential, and we're up for the task. We're proud to be in a position to lead the way in reimagining the neighborhood pharmacy, just as we have been proud to join our peers in the pharmacy space in rising to meet the challenge of responding to COVID-19, while continuing to serve the pharmacy needs of the people who count on us. I'm encouraged because we're starting with a strong foundation, the trust, accessibility, and the goodwill that pharmacists already enjoy in the neighborhoods that they serve make them uniquely qualified to play a star role in the evolution of healthcare in this country. Thank you. It's been a real privilege to have had this opportunity today, albeit virtually, to share what we've been working on and why I believe it's so important, not just for our company, but for the communities that we serve at large. Please do all you can to stay as safe and healthy as possible, including by getting your flu shot this season. Hopefully at Rite Aid, but if not, at one of any number of our very capable competitors. Thanks so much.